Family gatherings are supposed to bring warmth, memories, and a sense of belonging. But for me, they've always felt like carefully staged performances, with my sister Monica playing the lead role and me, the unwanted background prop they never figured out how to remove. My name is Samantha Blake, and I never thought I'd be the one my own family wanted to erase. For years, I told myself I was imagining it. The sideways glances, the careful exclusion from big family plans, the way Monica would gently nudge conversations away from anything about my life. She was always the star. Valedictorian, Ivy League graduate, the polished woman with the husband in finance and two perfect kids who wore matching outfits for Christmas cards. Me. I ran a tiny pottery studio downtown. Messy hair, stained aprons, single and childless at 34. The disappointment no one spoke about out loud, but always loud enough in the silences. It was last Thanksgiving when I realized how deep the cracks in our family facade truly ran. We were all gathered at my parents' house, the same house Monica and I grew up in, for the usual holiday ritual. Candles lit, the fireplace going, and every space packed with cousins, aunts, uncles, and neighbors who just popped by. Monica had dressed her twin daughters in matching gold dresses. Her husband Charles carved the turkey with the confidence of a man who owned 3 cars and a boat. I sat in the corner sipping mulled wine, wearing the blue velvet dress I'd bought just for the day, the one Monica had casually said really suits your style earlier. At the time I thought she meant it kindly. Aunt Ruth, my dad's older sister, sat beside me after dinner. She leaned close, her voice low. "Honey, have you seen Monica's new Christmas photo post?" I frowned. "What post?" She pulled out her phone and showed me Monica's Instagram. There they were, photos from this very gathering already edited and posted. My parents by the fireplace. The twins twirling. Charles raising a glass. A huge family group shot with cousins. But where was I? I scrolled, my thumb starting to tremble. No sign of me. Not one photo where my face wasn't blurred, turned away, or simply gone. I blinked hard. I remembered those photos. I'd posed for the group shots, laughing between my parents and Uncle Mike. But here I'd either been carefully cropped out, or deliberately left off entirely. A cold pit opened in my stomach. Aunt Ruth gave me a sad little smile. I thought maybe it was a mistake. But, well, I just thought you should know. I sat back, pulse rising in my ears. Why would she do this? What was the point of cutting me out of family photos? Publicly? As if on cue, Mark, my boyfriend of 2 years, walked over and perched beside me. "You okay? You look pale." I showed him the screen. His jaw tightened. Maybe it was just an oversight. She probably meant nothing by it. But I knew better. Monica never did anything without careful thought. She controlled every angle of her life like it was a campaign ad, clean, flawless, enviable. And I didn't fit the image she sold to the world. I put the phone down, staring across the room at her. Monica was laughing with Dad, showing him something on her watch. Her perfect blonde hair curled just right, her gold bracelet catching the light. As if she could sense me looking, she turned. Our eyes met. Her smile faltered for the briefest second. And then, without shame, she turned away. It hit me like a slap. She knew exactly what she'd done. After dessert, when people were putting on coats and exchanging leftovers, I cornered Mom in the kitchen. "Did you see Monica's photos?" I asked, heart racing. She wiped her hands on a dish towel, avoiding my eyes. "She posted lovely pictures. Everyone looks so happy." "I'm not in them." She hesitated. "Well, maybe the angles weren't right. Don't make drama, Sam. You know how Monica likes to keep things tidy." "Tidy?" I snapped. "Or free of embarrassment?" Her sigh was soft, defeated. "Please, just let it go. Don't ruin the holidays." There was the quiet truth no one ever said out loud. I was the misfit. The wrong note in their perfect melody. Mark put his hand on my back as I grabbed my coat. "Come on, babe. It's not worth it." But it was worth it. Because something inside me shifted as I stood in that kitchen, invisible in my own family home. If they wanted to erase me from their picture-perfect world, I'd give them a picture they'd never forget. I left that house knowing one thing for certain. The next family photo would tell a story they couldn't crop or edit away. And this time I'd be the one holding the camera. I couldn't sleep that night. Lying awake in my apartment, staring at the ceiling, Monica's words from years past played in my head like broken records. Sam, you should really grow out your bangs, they make you look childish. Still single? You know you're not getting younger, right? I saw your little pottery shop on Main. So cute. Like a hobby. Her tiny stings had collected like splinters under my skin for years. But this was the cut that bled. I tossed and turned, my mind spinning. Maybe Mark was right. Maybe I was overreacting. Maybe Monica was just careless, maybe it really wasn't deliberate. But I knew her too well. The next day, still shaking with quiet fury, I texted her. Hey, why am I missing from the family photos you posted? The 3 little dots danced. Then her reply came, crisp and sharp as glass. Monica. Oh Sam. I edited them to look more balanced. It wasn't personal. The angles were weird with you on the edge. I didn't think you'd mind. Balanced? My fingers curled so tight around the phone my knuckles went white. I called her. She answered with a bright, fake cheery voice. Sam. What's up? What did you mean balanced? I said, keeping my voice flat low. Pause. Then the sigh, the one she always used when she pretended she was tired of dealing with me. Look, you know how mom and dad are. They want things presented a certain way. Family image matters. You with your pottery and lifestyle doesn't exactly fit the story we're telling. I mean, what would people think? You don't even have a family of your own yet. My heart hammered. So you erased me. Oh, stop it. You're so dramatic. It's Instagram. No one cares. I felt heat rising behind my eyes, but I wouldn't cry. Not now. Do mom and dad know you did this? Her voice dropped, venom slipping through the silk. Of course they do. They asked for retakes after you left. Said the pictures would look better if you weren't cluttering the edge. I went cold. I'd suspected they were ashamed of me for years, for not marrying young, for not working in some gleaming glass office. But to hear it so casually confirmed made my stomach twist. I'm their daughter too, I whispered. They want what's best for the family image. You should understand. Honestly, this pottery phase. It's not what people in our circle respect. You'll thank me for keeping you out of it when you realize that. Her arrogance crackled like static in my ear. I hung up. I sat at the kitchen table in silence for a long time, the clock ticking like soft hammers against my skull. Even mom and dad wanted me out of the picture. The weight of that truth settled like wet sand in my chest. When Mark came home from work, he found me staring at an old photo album, real paper pages, from when Monica and I were little girls in pigtails, covered in dirt from playing in the yard. Sam, you okay? He asked softly. I swallowed. I'm not imagining it. They really want me out. Even mom and dad told her to crop me. His face hardened. You don't deserve this. I know. I touched the photo gently, Monica holding my hand in the sandbox, both of us laughing. A different world. A world that no longer existed. I turned the page and froze. A forgotten photo. Monica and Charles at their anniversary party last summer. I remembered that night, and remembered what I saw. Charles, drunk, stumbling out behind the catering tent. Kissing a woman in a black dress. Not Monica. I dismissed it as someone else's gossip. But now, I wondered. I closed the album, a slow smile curling at the edge of my lips. They wanted perfect pictures without me. They were about to get exactly what they deserved. And I'd be the one framing the moment. Mark watched me carefully. What are you thinking? I met his eyes, steady, clear. I'm thinking it's time they saw the real family photo album. No filters. No cropping. No edits. Sam, are you sure? I've spent my whole life being quiet, small, tidy in the background. Not anymore. They made me invisible. Now they'll wish they'd left me in the frame. And in that moment I knew. Revenge was no longer an idea. It was the next photo to be developed. And this time the whole world would see it. The following week passed in a haze of cold determination. I didn't cry anymore. I didn't rant to Mark. I didn't even answer my mother's half-hearted text. Sam, let's not make a fuss about photos. It's just family fun. Please let this go. Let this go? They wanted me cut from the family picture like I was an unwanted smudge. But they forgot one thing: I knew their real stains. And I was going to develop every single one into full color. I called Lisa Myers, a photographer I'd met at a local business event last spring. She did family portraits, weddings, and freelance candid photography. She answered on the second ring. Samantha Blake. Been a while. What can I do for you? I smiled slightly. Lisa, you still offer private documentation services? The discreet kind. Pause. Then a knowing laugh. Who's the target? My sister. And her perfect life. Say no more. I'm in. And just like that, the pieces began to fall into place. Monica's life was staged, polished, and glossy, but cracks were everywhere if you knew where to look. Lisa sent her assistant to Monica's favorite coffee shop downtown. Just as I suspected, there was Charles, her loyal husband, working late, with his arm around a young blonde secretary. The kiss was caught in 3 crystal-clear shots. 2 days later, Lisa caught Monica's darling twin daughters, 12 years old apple-cheeked angels in every Facebook post, spray-painting graffiti on the back wall of the McCormick's garage down the block. Bold black letters spelling out something nasty about their math teacher. And then the crown jewel. Lisa's friend at Lillian's boutique forwarded security camera stills. Monica herself, slipping a designer dress into her oversized bag while pretending to check prices. Price tag tucked inside her pocket. A $500 dress. Uplifting. Perfect Monica. Ivy League Monica. The family's golden idol. And I had it all. Photos. Dates. Locations. Proof. I wasn't even angry anymore. I was calm. Clear. Focused. This wasn't about petty revenge. This was about making sure they could never pretend again. The plan unfolded like clockwork. First, I designed the book. A simple, stunning coffee table album. White leather cover. Embossed title in elegant gold. The Blake Family, Unfiltered. Page 1. Monica's perfect family Christmas card from last year. The one she posted all over social media. Page 2. The raw, untouched photo from that same shoot, with me in it. Smiling. Present. Uncropped. The contrast was sharp. Jarring. And on purpose. Page 3. Monica's daughters spray cans in hand, mid-laugh as they defaced private property. Page 4. A store camera image of Monica slipping that stolen dress into her tote bag. Page 5. Charles holding his secretary close, kissing her outside the coffee shop. Date stamped. Time logged. Every page turned like a blade. On the last page I wrote a simple line. Perfection is in the eye of the beholder. But truth? Truth is always in the picture. I had 10 copies printed, high quality, glossy pages, bound and beautiful. One for Mom. One for Dad. One for Monica. One for Charles. One for the twins to discover someday. One for each of our closest aunts and uncles. And 2 for Monica's husband's law firm board members. Hand-delivered by courier. And of course, a digital album sent anonymously to our extended family WhatsApp group. I hit send with a strange sense of peace. It was done. The explosion happened faster than I imagined. Monica's husband was suspended the next day pending personal conduct review by his firm's board. The boutique owner pressed charges for shoplifting. Her store was famous and Monica's face wasn't easy to forget. The neighbors demanded Monica and the twins formally apologize and cover damages for the vandalism. Mom called in tears, her voice cracking. Samantha, why would you do this? I leaned back in my chair, staring at my clean studio walls. Because you did it first. Sam, you've destroyed your sister's life. I closed my eyes, the memory of Monica's smug voice in my ear. You don't fit our story. You clutter the edges. No, Mom. I just made sure everyone saw the real story this time. She gasped softly. What's happened to you? I smiled sadly. I stopped being invisible. She hung up. I felt no joy. No triumph. Just clarity. I wasn't the problem child anymore. I wasn't the family's flaw to be edited out. I was the truth they could never erase. The fallout was swift, brutal, and strangely quiet. No phone calls from Monica. No apologetic messages from Dad. Not even a word from Aunt Ruth, who always lived for drama. The silence was thicker than the noise ever was. Mark came home that evening holding 2 envelopes in his hand. More mail for you, he said, eyes wide. One from your mom. One. Looks like Monica. I stared at them. The white paper felt heavy in my hands. For years I would have ripped them open, desperate for approval, desperate for some small scrap of belonging. But not anymore. Mark sat beside me on the couch. You going to read them? I shook my head slowly. Not yet. Because something strange, something unexpected, had been happening since the book landed in their lives. I'd been getting quiet messages. Not from my parents. Not from Monica. But from cousins I hadn't heard from in years. From Uncle Mike. Even from Monica's old college friend, Julia. I always knew she treated you unfairly. I'm sorry I stayed quiet. You were right to call it out. No one should be erased like that. Samantha, I saw the book. I wish I had spoken up for you before. Forgive me. One by one, little threads of real connection, honest, raw, began to trickle in. I wasn't invisible anymore. And that mattered more than their anger. 3 days later, my mother showed up at my studio. No warning. No call. I opened the door, clay still on my hands, heart thumping. She stood there holding the album. My album. The one that broke their perfect glass castle. Her face was pale. No makeup. Eyes red. Mom. She stepped inside. Looked around, for the first time really seeing the studio I'd built with my own hands. The kiln. The shelves of bowls, cups, vases. Pieces sold to real people who loved them. Not charity. Not a hobby. This is beautiful, she whispered. I said nothing. She turned the album slowly in her hands. We knew you'd seen the posts, but I told Monica not to make this worse. I didn't stop her. I should have. I should have defended you. I didn't. For the first time in years, she sounded like my mother. Not Monica's manager. Why? I asked softly. Why did you let her erase me? Her mouth trembled. Because I was afraid. Afraid that you'd drifted too far from what we understood. The business, the marriage, the life we thought mattered. Monica made everything look so easy to explain to people. I thought you'd embarrass us. The words landed hard. But they were finally true. I wasn't ashamed of you, Samantha. I was ashamed of myself. For not understanding the life you chose. For not knowing how to be proud of a daughter I didn't plan for. Tears filled her eyes. She held the book tight. And now the whole family knows the truth. Because you made sure they saw it. I swallowed the lump in my throat. No more cropping me out, Mom. No more pretending. She reached out, slow, unsure, and took my hand. No more. We stood in the quiet studio, mother and daughter, the space between us fragile but real. I don't expect forgiveness today, she whispered. But I needed you to hear that I was wrong. We were wrong. I nodded. The old ache in my chest felt lighter. Not gone, but not suffocating either. As she turned to leave, she paused. Monica, she's a mess right now. Her husband left. The girls are grounded for the year. The shoplifting charge is real. The boutique pressed it. Her life is falling apart. She built it that way, I said simply. Mom closed the door behind her. And for the first time, I didn't feel sorry. Weeks passed. Orders for my pottery doubled. People who'd seen the book, friends of friends, called wanting pieces that told real stories. Messy, beautiful, human. Christmas, a card arrived. From Monica. The handwriting shaky. The message short. I was wrong. I'm sorry. I don't know what else to say. I miss my sister. Monica. I folded the card gently and put it away. Maybe someday I'd call her. Maybe not. But I no longer needed to fit their picture. I had framed my own life, edges and all. Mark kissed my temple as we set up for a New Year's sale at the studio. You okay? He asked. I smiled. For real. For the first time in years. I am. I finally feel seen. And as the door opened and real people stepped inside my imperfect, beautiful studio, I knew they'd never be able to crop me out again.